It is a Guinness Stout chocolate cake with Bailey's Irish cream frosting. I mean, if that just doesn't make your mouth water, I don't know what will.
And now, it's time once again for the show that gives glorious voice to 25 million business owners across the fruited plain. Radio Free Enterprise with Frank Felker.
Hello, hello, hello. I am Frank Felker. Welcome back to Radio Free Enterprise. You know, sometimes I think as the host of this podcast, I have the best job in the world because I get to speak to interesting people, smart people, passionate people, most importantly, entrepreneurial people. And today I get to bring you somebody who's actually a personal friend of mine who also matches up with all of those other criteria. Adnan Hamidi is the owner of Alexandria Cupcake, which is right on King Street in beautiful and historic Old Town Alexandria, Virginia, my former place of residence, and I hope to be my future place of residence as well. And he's got a great story to share with us today about how he got himself into the cupcake business and how it's working out. Adnan, welcome to Radio Free Enterprise.
Frank, thank you very much for having me. It's my pleasure.
I'm very excited to have you here for all the reasons I just listed. But most importantly, because you made a decision, a personal decision, to follow your passion, go into the business that you'd always wanted to get into. And it's worked out. You're succeeding in that business. On top of everything else, it's a fun business. It's something that brings a lot of pleasure to your customers. So let's start off by talking about Alexandria Cupcake. I mean,
Yes,
it seems
sir.
obvious what you do, but tell me what you sell and who your customers are.
Well, we, of course, as the name says, Alexandria Cupcakes, so we specialize definitely in cupcakes. We're in the business of selling gourmet cupcakes. We also sell basic coffee. We also have a small coffee service that goes with our cupcakes. We sell cold drinks, cookies, biscottis, so selected baked goods. But cupcakes are the hub of the matter on this one.
Cupcakes are sort of your bread and butter.
That's the bread and butter and the icing on the cake, as we say. But our customers, we have a range of customers. Basically, we have our locals, the local residents that live there. That makes up a large portion of our clientele. Tourists, since Alexandria is such a historical town, and excuse me, and tourists flock into the old town by the thousands every year. We do capture a good brunt of that business as well. Corporate offices, that's another large portion of our business as well. That's part of our clientele. Local businesses, offices, law firms, real estate offices, we do cater to them as well. And of course, a lot of the locals or the people that get married in or around Old Town area.
Oh,
yeah. Mm-hmm. We do capture them. We perform a lot of weddings with respect to catering the cupcakes instead of a wedding cake. So that's this is I would say makes up our arena of our clientele.
I hadn't thought about a couple of the different categories of people you just targeted, but before we get back to that, I think, even though cupcake is half of your name and it obviously describes what you do, I don't think it really adequately describes for somebody who is not like me, their mouth is not watering right now thinking about your cupcakes, because I've had the pleasure of eating them. Tell us a few, of your most popular flavor combinations, the cake with the icing. I mean, it's honestly making my mouth water right now, so I will try not to drool on the microphone.
Well, Frank, yeah, absolutely. I mean, we have, of course, the favorites change on a daily basis, but I would say the top sellers that we have are, of course, our red velvet. The red velvet has been voted by different places as being like the best on the Eastern Seaboard. But I would say that one of our creations, which is we launched right after we opened for St. Patrick's Day Parade in Old Town, which is a fairly large event, as you know.
Mm-hmm.
And we launched it only for that event. And then once we took it away, boy, did people get angry. And I do mean angry. And it's our Guinness Cupcake. It is a Guinness Stout chocolate cake with Bailey's Irish cream frosting. I mean, if that just doesn't make your mouth water, I don't know what will.
Oh my God. So do you now offer that all the time, or is it still seasonal, or how does that work?
It is not seasonal. We offer that on the weekends only. So it is offered on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday only. And it's usually baked by noon, so it's ready at that point. But it is, I would say, one of the most popular cupcakes that we offer. But also the other cupcake that has gained quite a bit of popularity is our gluten-free chocolate cupcake. You do not have to be gluten intolerant to love this cupcake. It has all the fat and calories you could ask for. But instead of using wheat flour, we use coconut flour in this particular cake, and we use coconut oil for the fat, which is, of course, as we know, is the good fat. Therefore, it's made it a very, very popular cupcake by the cupcake connoisseurs out there.
All right, I got to go back to the red velvet cake. You said it has been voted one of the best on the East Coast. You're talking about your red velvet cupcake?
Our red velvet cupcake.
Okay, and what's the frosting on that one?
Cream cheese frosting, classic cream cheese frosting. This red velvet is a traditional Texas style cupcake. It's a buttermilk cupcake with just a hint of cocoa in it, and it has cream cheese frosting on top. And that combination, you cannot eat just one.
All right, one last thing, and then we'll let everybody whose stomach is growling right now off the hook. But what was the cupcake you gave me when I was in the shop a couple of weeks ago that had the fresh raspberry fruit?
Oh, I remember.
On top? Okay, what was it?
I distinctly remember it. So what you had was my son's favorite cupcake. Mm-hmm. And that is the vanilla bean cupcake with the Belgian cocoa frosting topped with the raspberry.
Unbelievable. It was like heaven. Oh. And the little taste explosion of the raspberry at the end was, unbelievable.
Oh, it works very well with that chocolate, and especially that vanilla cake. That way you get the best of both worlds. You get the vanilla fix that you're looking for, and then you get your chocolate fix. And then you have the healthy fix, which is the raspberry.
Exactly what I was going to say. I'm getting my fresh fruit, Mom.
Exactly. So you cannot feel guilty about eating that cupcake.
No, I refuse. Okay, so how did you decide to get into this wonderful business in the first place? I mean, I know, a bit about your background and so forth, but it's competitive business, and certainly in Old Town, my goodness, there's so many different options. But how did you decide to get into the cupcake business originally, Adnan?
Well, I will tell you. I will start back a few years. And I will tell you that when I was in elementary school, I was forced to take home economics classes, which really means cooking class. So now, oh boy, did I cry. Like, I don't want to be here. This is just not what the guys do. But lo and behold, all of a sudden, the first class was baking. And I think that is where the bug bit me about baking. And then where I grew up in California, as a teenager, I would take baked goods, specifically chocolate chip cookies and apple and cherry pies, and enter them into the local fair out there. And guess what? A lot of those grandmas out there that had been baking for years got pretty mad when I started winning those ribbons.
Wow, I never heard about that part of your story. That's great.
Yeah, we'll have to save a little bit for a surprise, Frank. But after that, I think the bug was always in me. I grew up in a wonderful house with my mom being this amazing chef. So I was exposed at an early age to gourmet food. However, I don't think this came to fruition till later, where I started thinking about a food establishment. And I would say that was maybe over 10 years ago. I started thinking about the fact that maybe I want a restaurant. But I also had a lot of friends in the restaurant business. And I knew that if I opened up a restaurant, the headaches that would go along with it. I was quite aware of those headaches. So I decided, from an entrepreneurial perspective, how do I minimize those headaches? Now, the headaches will exist in any business, but I decided, well, let's do dessert. Well, we can concentrate on dessert, and let's do it more of a European-style carry-out bakery. And that's where the idea originated. And then I just finalized or narrowed down what kind of dessert. And as I got to thinking about it, somehow, somewhere, it led to cupcakes. Excuse me. But once I got to cupcakes, I think I was on the right track when I noticed that a couple of cupcake bakeries had opened up all of a sudden, and they were doing fairly well. And that solidified my decision to move forward with it. And that's, I would say, within a year after I made that decision, we opened up the bakery in Old Town. And I wanted to be Old Town because my heart lies in Old Town. I've been in this area for 23 years, and I moved from California. And I thought this was just a perfect environment for a cupcake bakery. And I took a leap of faith, did some crunched some numbers, and opened the doors. And we actually established the company, Alexandria Cupcake, in 2009. And in January of 2010, we opened our doors. And since then, it has been a great ride.
So it turned out it was a good decision. You ended up you had a great idea and picked the right spot.
Absolutely. I think the location is important. And now that we have become an institution in Old Town, I think location is not as much an issue at this point, although I must say we have outgrown our location.
Well, and that's part of it, as you mentioned that you chose Old Town specifically. And for people who either have not visited there or really are not become part of the fabric there, it's a very special place. It really has the sense of history, and yet everything's brand new and vibrant and energetic, and it's just a really cool place to be. And I congratulate you for having a successful business in Old Town because it is such a competitive environment, which brings me to my next question. There are people who visit Old Town or live in Old Town or work in Old Town. They've got a lot of choices. I think somewhere I saw there's like 400. It may seem that may be wrong, but there are just scores of different food service establishments, restaurants, bars, hotels, etc. It's an extremely competitive environment. Why is it that, with all that having been said, that so many people come through the doors of Alexandria Cupcake every day?
Well, actually, I think to backtrack, you are correct about the number of establishments. Old Town is definitely a booming area. But, Frank, there's an old saying that is, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So let me answer your question with that. Quality and service. If you have a good product, if you use the highest quality ingredients, and along with that you provide the highest level of service, you will have a successful business. It is as simple as it sounds, it does work. So I would say that since we offer, the best product on the market, we use organic and or natural ingredients in all of our products. We use the best butter you can buy, the best cocoa you can get out there, freshest organic berries to use in our cupcakes or on our cupcakes. And we bake in small batches to control the quality of it. I think that combination yields such a great product, along with the smile that you get when you walk through our doors.
Yep.
People do not forget that. And one of the highest compliments that I've been paid, and I'm very humble in accepting that, is the fact that people say the service is just immaculate, and along with the quality of your product. And of course, I have to tip my hat to my employees who just take amazingly good care of all of our clientele. So having said that, once you come in and you taste the product and receive this amazing service that we have, why wouldn't you come back? That's what I tell people. That's
a great question. I love that. Why wouldn't you come back? Why would you ask me such a question, Frank?
Exactly.
You've been there.
You've
come
there, Frank,
back. 2 times. That's great. And, again, I didn't realize the care that goes into, I could taste that it was a fantastic product, but when you were just talking about your selection of your ingredients and so forth, I didn't realize all of that was the case, but it clearly comes through in the final product.
It does, especially in baked goods. You have to do that. And, as where cooking is an art form, baking is an exact science. So you have to be very careful as far as the humidity levels, as they change, as the temperature changes. You have to modify your baking techniques at that point, and it does make a difference. So you have to know a little bit about chemistry to stay on top of it. As different times of years, you get a different temperature and humidity levels. But there's a lot of care that goes into it, and you have to control the environment quite a bit. So it's a little extra work, but it's definitely worth it to see the smiles on our customers' faces.
Now, you mentioned a minute ago about Alexandria Cupcake now having established itself as an Old Town institution. Didn't you tell me that somebody actually wrote you or your company into a novel that they published recently?
Absolutely. And I would say that a couple of weeks ago, this must have been one of the biggest surprises that I have received. And I must apologize, I don't have the book in front of me. But apparently it's a light sci-fi novel from an author who lives down in Florida. And she comes up to Alexandria quite a bit, apparently. And actually pretty much used Alexandria Cupcake in her novel as a setting place.
Wow.
And there seems to be a lot of activity hovering around Alexandria Cupcake in this novel. And for that,
that is awesome.
I was flabbergasted. I tell you that what a wonderful surprise. So we will be reaching out to this author and thanking her, and of course, she's going to get cupcakes.
I think she should get a lifetime supply. That's what I say.
Exactly.
I'm happy to spend your cupcakes.
Oh, Frank, by the way, I found the title of the book. It is called
What is it?
Threaded Destiny, and the author's name is Beth Brown. And I have to start reading this book.
Yes, in your spare time.
I think we're going to definitely make some time.
What I'm going to do is put a link to the book in the show notes, so anybody who's interested in learning more about it or maybe buying a copy of it will be able to find it on Amazon or wherever it is. Okay, so let me go the opposite direction now.
Yes, sir.
Alexandria Cupcake is an institution in Old Town and being written about by, people. But part about that story I love the best is she doesn't even live in Old Town. She lives in Florida, and she just visited, and yet she could see, your place there on King Street. Your place being, how important you are. So if everybody knows so much about Alexandria Cupcake, tell me something that people who maybe have been coming there for years, locals, don't know about Alexandria Cupcake.
I think there's one main thing that people are still surprised to hear, and that is that we deliver. We deliver on a daily basis. A lot of locals that have been frequenting us didn't realize that we deliver. We deliver in Old Town area. We deliver outside of Old Town. And actually, we have delivered as far as hour and a half in each direction. So delivery is not a problem. We definitely do request people that they call ahead of time if they can, possibly, and schedule the delivery, and we would be more than happy to take care of that.
Wow. So like if a local trade association in Old Town or a corporation or even just a group of people like a women's club or something's meeting and they need a couple of dozen cupcakes tomorrow morning delivered, you can do that.
Absolutely. And there's no minimum. If somebody wants 2 cupcakes delivered, we will deliver them. That is not it.
Wow.
That is not an issue. And keep in mind there's so many events that that we're involved in, and because by the virtue of that, we do deliver anyway. So we get out there and we deliver.
Sure.
I'm sorry?
Well, I've said it was kind of a light bulb moment for me because of all the types of events that you guys are involved in. You have to deliver. People aren't going to be able to pick up. And which brings me to my next question. Tell me about, I'm sure you've seen just about everything since the 1st of January of 2010. Tell me 2 or 3 or more creative ways that you've seen people use your cupcakes.
I would say that the most intriguing way that we have found where people are using cupcakes are in a sex reveal party for a baby. So, for example, parents-to-be will normally, one parent will find out the sex, or one of their friends will find out the sex of the baby, and they will hold a little party or a shower for the parents. And in the cupcakes, we will inject either blue or pink frosting to reveal the sex of the baby. So when the guests are present, of course, nobody knows, the parents and their parents and friends. But when they bite into the cupcake, it is revealed what the baby is going to be.
Wow.
So It is such a happy moment, I think, for the parents to be and people that surround them, that it's one of the greatest ways I've seen cupcakes being used. But in addition to that, birthday parties, so popular, not only for adults, of course, with the Guinness cupcakes, but also for children. Children's birthday parties, cupcakes seem to be the hit. Same at weddings. We are involved in a lot of weddings where we provide cupcakes instead of wedding cakes. And that way people can get multiple flavors of cupcakes. And they can have an assortment of different flavors at their wedding. And that way they don't have to settle for one flavor.
Well, a real quick question. So then does it get arranged like an arrangement like a wedding cake, or how do they do it?
Yes, actually, we have different types of towers that we actually arrange them on. So it looks like a tiered wedding cake, except it's made of cupcakes.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And I would say the other thing is we do quite a bit is for different events. Depending on the event, we can arrange cupcakes in different forms, shapes. One of the greatest, I would say, our achievements were the Washington Post commissioned us to create a flag. I would say it was a very large, to-scale flag, U.S. flag made out of cupcakes, red, white, and blue.
I remember that.
Yes, and we were on the front cover of the food section of the Washington Post. And, boy, it took a while, but, wow, what a great product. So they were able to do a photo shoot with that. And of course, after the photo shoot, it didn't last long. It was
Everybody ate the flag.
Absolutely. But we are able to do that. You know, there are many creative uses for our cupcakes we can do. Retirement ceremonies are very popular, especially with the military. So we do provide cupcakes for those. Of course, the red, white, and blue theme and stars, we can do, with ample notice, we can do, different logos and everything as well.
Oh, sure. You could do like a recreation of a logo. That's a cool idea, just as you recreated the flag.
Absolutely.
Wow. Well, you are in a really fun business, and I just am so happy for you, Adnan, because, a lot of people dream and think about, wouldn't it be great if, and you decided to go on past that and actually make it happen. But even so, there's no way for anyone to know what the outcome will be. And here you have made it happen. You have made it profitable. You've made it into a great lifestyle business that, in fact, has become an institution here in Old Town Alexandria. So I really congratulate you about that.
Thank you, Frank. Thank you.
It's very heartfelt. I'm so happy and proud of you. If somebody who lives in the area, maybe in Old Town, or as now I understand you deliver even quite a distance away from Old Town,
yes,
wanted to connect with you, they want to get some cupcakes delivered, or they want to learn more about Alexandria Cupcake, what's the best way for them to connect with you guys?
The best thing that they can do is just pick up the phone and call us. Or I would recommend, if someone's interested in ordering from us, just look at our website at alexandriacupcake.com. And just look at our flavors, what we offer, and after that, they can either email us at info@alexandriacupcake.com, or they can just call us, and we would be more than happy to help them. The best way to reach us is the number is 703-299-9099, and we can take the order over the telephone, very easy. It helps them out with any questions they may have, any questions about special events. FYI, we are closed on Mondays. I think all of us do need a break for one day. And but we open 11 o'clock Tuesday through Saturday, and then we open at noon on Sunday. But people can call or email us, and we would be more than happy to take care of their needs.
And what time do you close every day, or Tuesday through Sunday?
Tuesday and Wednesday we close at 7 p.m. On Thursday we close at 9 p.m. Friday and Saturday is 10 p.m. And on Sunday, we close at 8 p.m.
Interesting. So I assume that's in alignment with what you've seen over the years in terms of foot traffic and people coming through the door.
Yes, it is easy to have one set of hours, but we have seen just that there's quite a fluctuation depending on the time of day and what day it is during the week or on the weekend. So what we've also done, we also make sure that our employees are taken care of. We don't want our employees staying till 11 o'clock on a Sunday night. As much as we take care of our customers, we have to take care of our employees as well.
That's great, and you and I could talk at length. We're out of time here today, but it came through clearly to me that the reason why your customers enjoy such a great customer service experience is because you do such a good job of taking care of your employees, and I imagine selecting them ahead of time. I really don't want to ask you not to respond to that just because we're out of time, but it's clear to me that that's part of your mix there, if you will, part of the secret ingredient of Alexandria Cupcake. Let me go back over that. It's alexandriacupcake.com.
Yes.
Email at info@alexandriacupcake.com.
Yes.
You guys are also on Facebook, aren't you?
Yes, we're on Facebook, so people can. It's Alexandria Cupcake, and they're welcome to send us a message on Facebook or just follow us on Facebook.
Great. And could you give us the phone number one more time?
The phone number to the bakery is 703-299-9099.
Great. Adnan Hamidi, thank you so much for being on Radio Free Enterprise.
Frank, it was my pleasure. Thank you so much for having me.
Expanding your consciousness with tales of brave Ulysses, Radio Free Enterprise.